Today's headlines. The House of Representatives approves on final reading a resolution increasing the salaries of police and soldiers next year. The Department of Education orders the monitoring of students who were administered with the Dengue anti-dengue vaccine. Domestic workers in Western Visayas and Davao region are set to receive an increase in minimum wages. Temperatures drop to 15 degrees Celsius in the hottest city in the country. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Duterte's promise to increase salaries of police and soldiers is a step closer to completion as lawmakers approve the resolution authorizing the wage hike. Here's our report.
The House of Representatives approved in third and final reading a joint resolution aimed at raising the salaries of police and soldiers by next year. Voting 167 to 4, members of the lower chamber passed Joint Resolution number 18, authorizing the compensation adjustment for military and uniformed personnel. Under the measure, the monthly base pay of soldiers, police, firefighters, and jail guards will increase by 100%. The base pay of other ranks will reach about 58.70% for all ranks. Hazard pay, on the other hand, will be fixed at 540 pesos per month. The resolution employs two tranches of implementation of the modified base pay starting next year and 2019. The indexation of the pension of retired military personnel with base pay of those in the active service shall be suspended with respect to the base pay increase authorized in the joint resolution. The suspension will last for a year or until a new pension reform law is passed. About 381,000 military and uniformed personnel nationwide are expected to benefit from the pay hike. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Rom Dulfo.
Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III expressed support for the proposal to extend martial law in Mindanao. Pimentel said Congress is planning to hold a joint session on Wednesday to discuss the proposed one-year extension of martial law. He said lawmakers must know the military's basis for recommending the extension as there's no effect except that troops are out of the camps. He expects that the joint session would take more or less half a day. Aside from Pimentel, Senator Manny Pacquiao said that he is also in favor of martial law extension in Mindanao. President Duterte asked for an extension of martial law and suspension of the writ of habeas corpus in Mindanao for a whole year, following the security assessment submitted by the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police. In a letter to Congress, Duterte highlighted the different terror threats facing Mindanao, particularly remnants of ISIS-linked terrorists and communist rebels in the region. 3 Supreme Court justices expressed frustration over the actions of Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, which allegedly transgressed powers of the court and bank. During the resumption of the impeachment hearing against Sereno, Associate Justice Teresita de Castro said Sereno's actions disrespected the court and bank. De Castro earlier said Sereno not only altered a temporary restraining order on the party list proclamation in 2013, but also created a judicial decentralized office in Region 7, contrary to resolutions the High Court had approved. Retired Associate Justice Arturo Brion, meanwhile, accused Sereno of committing misrepresentation of the High Court. Associate Justice Francis Hardelesa also said he does not agree with the characterizations of Sereno. He said Sereno's actions have tarnished the reputation of the court and bank. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque hit back at detained Senator Laila de Lima after she criticized him in his speech before the International Criminal Court. De Lima accused Roque of spinning statements after the latter asked ICC not to meddle on alleged human rights violations by the Duterte administration. Roque had asked the ICC to respect the campaign on illegal drugs and terrorism under President Rodrigo Duterte and warned it against being misled by critics who want the president charged before the tribunal. De Lima also criticized Roque's statement on the possible withdrawal of Manila from the ICC if it supersedes the jurisdiction of local courts. Roque urged the detained senator to concentrate on clearing her name in the non-bailable and heinous criminal cases pending against her instead of engaging in political grandstanding. De Lima was arrested last February over her supposed involvement in the rampant drug trade inside the New Bilibid prison when she was Justice Secretary. Authorities intercepted about 57.5 million pesos worth of suspected methamphetamine hydrochloride or shabu hidden in a package of toys in Pasay City. The contraband was discovered on separate dates when authorities conducted random K9 sweeping operations and X-ray screening of inbound packages. PDEA Director General Aaron Aquino said PDEA NAIA operatives intercepted a package containing about 6 kilograms of suspected shabu in a multinational courier delivery service along Andrews Avenue last November. Another package, which was passed off as children's toys and puzzles, were intercepted on December 4. The package contained more or less 5.5 kilos of suspected shabu. Both were sent by certain Tyler Wilson from California, USA. The consignees, identified as Rogelio Almodiel and Jasmine Erquiza, will be charged for importation of illegal drugs. Still to come, the Department of Education orders the monitoring of students who were administered with the Dengvaxia anti-dengue vaccine. A food manufacturing firm offers incentives for cacao farmers in Davao City. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ito ang Duterte on Duty, ulat sa ginagawa ng Presidente. December 1, Biyernes, Camp General Teodolfo Bautista sa Hulosulu nang ibabaw ang paghanga at pasasalamat ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa pagharap sa mga sundalo na nagtaya ng buhay para sa kapayapaan sa Marawi.
Nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo mga sundalo ng Republika ng Pilipinas sa sacrifice, sa pagtiis, sa lahat na bagay. Harapin ang kahirapan, kamatayan. We had this crisis in Marawi, and I know that the Filipino soldiers fought valiantly at saka we prevailed.
December 5, Martes, Heroes Hall, Malacanang. Muling nagplano ang Pangulo ng Seguridad para sa bansa sa Joint Command Conference ng Armed Forces of the Philippines at Philippine National Police. Dumalo ang Pangulo sa 2017 Model OFW Family of the Year Awards. Kinilala niya bilang partners ng ating bansa ang mga kababayan nating nangingibang bansa.
I am confident that you will remain steadfast partners of government in promoting the Filipinos' greatness in the international community. By working together, we shall build a Philippines where opportunities abound and citizens are empowered to realize their aspirations.
Nakibanding ang Pangulo sa mga Duterte supporters mula sa Pampanga na hindi bumibitiw ng suporta sa kanya. Kinagabihan ay hinarap ng Pangulo ang 20th Cabinet Meeting sa Malacanang. December 6, Miyerkules, sa panunumpa ng mga presidential appointees at bagong appointed generals at flag officers ay nagbabala ang Pangulo sa mga komunista.
And one day, I will have just hope you arrested. You want to fight the country, create a revolution? Fine. We have been fighting for 50 years, and we will fight again for another 50 years. That is what you want.
Ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
The Department of Education vowed to monitor students previously administered with the flawed anti-dengue vaccine. Here's our report.
Education Secretary Leonor Briones ordered the monitoring of students from public and private schools who have been administered with the anti-dengue vaccine Dengvaxia. Briones instructed school administrators and medical personnel to review the master list of students who received the vaccination regardless of the number of doses received. The administrators and health personnel were tasked to identify these students and monitor them for any symptoms. DepEd and Department of Health, in cooperation with local government units, are strictly monitoring the conditions of students who receive the anti-dengue vaccine. The government allotted more than 3 billion pesos for the purchase of Dengue vaccines manufactured by pharmaceutical giant Sanofi Pasteur. However, on November 30, Sanofi Pasteur reported that dengue may cause harm to recipients who have not been infected by dengue prior to the vaccination. The Department of Health has already suspended the dengue vaccination program. About 800,000 students were already administered with dengue, but not all of them had prior dengue infection. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
The National Economic and Development Authority highlighted the Philippines' consistent economic growth supported by reforms as the country received a credit rating upgrade from Fitch Ratings. Here's our report.
The National Economic and Development Authority welcomed the Philippine credit rating upgrade from Fitch Ratings as a sign of the country's steady and strong economic performance. Fitch Ratings raised the country's rating from BBB negative to BBB, which means stable or good quality. This also means that there are no present factors that could trigger an adjustment within the near term. It also forecasted a gross domestic product growth of 6.8%. NEDA Director General Ernesto Pernia said the forecast affirms that the country's economic performance will be consistent as the economy is poised to be one of the fastest growing in Asia. The NEDA chief urged Filipinos to support the critical reforms including the tax and other regulatory reforms needed to sustain and even ramp up economic growth. The administration is expecting that the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act will be implemented as soon as it is enacted into law before year-end. Meanwhile, the Build program is expected to boost infrastructure spending for the government to reach its GDP target of 7.4% by 2022. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Crismundo.
A food manufacturing firm is offering a chocolate bonus to Davao cacao farmers as its way of giving back to their clients. Kennemer Foods International is set to plow back to the farmers 4 pesos for every kilo sold to the traders. The traders will get a 2 peso share per kilo delivered to them. Area Manager Guadalupe Ocial explained the company's international buyers wanted farmers to benefit from the industry's profits. She said the company would release a chocolate bonus starting this month. Aside from the bonus, Kennemer provides free training to farmers who are engaged in contract farming. It also extends financing to the small cacao farmers with a 7-year term loan plus 2 years grace period for a 120,000 peso loan per hectare. It is a supervised loan used to fund farm inputs and other materials that are needed in cacao growing. The Department of Labor and Employment announced that domestic workers in Western Visayas and Davao region will receive an increase in wages. Based on the wage order approved by the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board, workers in Region 6 will receive an increase ranging from 1,000 to 1,500 pesos. Workers in cities and first-class municipalities can get an additional 1,000 pesos, while those from other municipalities will have a 1,500 peso increase. In Region 11, new monthly minimum wage rates are set from 500 to 1,000 pesos for domestic workers. Those in chartered cities and first-class municipalities will receive an increase of 1,000 pesos, while 500 pesos will be added for those in other municipalities. The wage rates apply to general house help, yaya, cook, gardener, laundry person, and any person who regularly performs domestic work in one household on an occupational basis. PhilHealth in Western Visayas will implement policies that will impact on premium payments of its members and availment of benefits starting January 1st next year. The premium payment will increase to 2.75% of the monthly basic salary of its members starting next year from 2.5%. This covers members in the formal economy, government and private sectors, sea-based overseas Filipino workers, and kasambahay. PhilHealth encouraged its members to just be religious in paying their dues, whether on a monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual terms. 95% of the population of Western Visayas is covered by PhilHealth. Up next, vegetable producers in Benguet assure enough supply of highland vegetables for the holidays. temperatures dropped to 15 degrees Celsius in the hottest city in the country. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Mga Kristiyano at Muslim nagkaroon ng pagpupulong sa Roma upang labanan ng terorismo sa Mindanao. Alamin ang kwento. Bago matapos ang gera sa Marawi City, nitong Setyembre ay nagsama-sama ang ilang Filipino religious leaders sa pamamagitan ng San Egidio Community sa Roma. Nagtipo ng mga klerikong Muslim at mga arsobispo ng simbahang Katoliko at lumagda sa manifesto para sa pagsusulong ng kapayapaan sa Mindanao. Nilagdaan ito nina Monsignor Anthony Ledesma, arsobispo ng Cagayan de Oro, Monsignor Edwin de la Peña, obispo ng Marawi, Dr. Said Zamashari Salindad, pangkalahatang kalihim ng Hayatul Ulama at Ustad Abdul Muhammad Mujahid, ang Executive Director ng Regional Darul Ifta ng Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Dumalo rin sa pagtitipon sina Cardinal Orlando Quevedo at Chairman ng Moro Islamic Liberation Front o MILF na si Alhaj Murad Ibrahim. Nanumpa silang isusulong ang peace education sa lahat ng paaralan para matugunan ang marahas na extremism sa Mindanao. Umapila rin ang grupo sa mga mambabatas na mapabilis ang pagpasa ng Bangsamoro Basic Law. Nilinaw nila na ang nangyaring krisis sa Marawi ay digmaang violent extremism at hindi gyerang panrelihiyon. Ako po si Princess Habibas Ripaudak at ito ang Salam News Daily. Abangan ang iba pa naming kwento at pagtalakay sa aming tradisyon, kultura at relihiyon sa Salam TV tuwing Linggo alas 8:30 ng gabi sa PTV.
Benguet Province, the country's top producer of highland vegetables, has assured that there will be no shortage of semi-temperate vegetables this holiday season. Bugias Mayor Ruben Tindan said the province has a high production of vegetables because of high demand. He added that aside from the sufficient supply, the farmers are encouraged due to good prices of vegetables compared to the regular days. Some farmers have established greenhouses to prevent damage of the plants in cases of heavy rain. Other farmers shifted to organic vegetable production to add to the commercial vegetable produce. Aside from Bugias, other adjacent towns in Benguet, including in Mountain Province, have also established vegetable farms. Benguet produces over 80% of the country's highland vegetable requirement, with over 70% of them grown in Bugias. It produces a high volume and percentage of carrots, potatoes, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, and other upland vegetables. Baguio City plans to convert its former open dump site into a bamboo forest, which will double as a source of livelihood for some barangays or villages. The city, through Mayor Mauricio Damogan, has signed a tripartite agreement with the Philippine Bamboo Foundation or PBF and other corporate partners for the conversion of the Irisan dump site into an eco park. The Irisan dump site was closed down in 2008. Based on the agreement, bamboos will be planted in the area in partnership with some barangays. The proceeds will form part of the livelihood of participating villagers. 3 hectares of the dump site will be set aside as an experimental bamboo plantation site. The Philostachys saurea bamboo variety will be propagated in the dump site from January to May 2018 and will be planted in the area as soon as the rainy season starts. The PBF provides bamboo as raw materials for manufacturers of handicrafts and furniture. Tuguegarao City, known as the Philippines' hottest city, is now experiencing cold weather brought about by the tail end of the cold front affecting the country. Pag-asa said the cold weather was first felt here last Friday with a reading of 15 degrees Celsius. The cold weather condition is expected to persist in most parts of the region until the early part of March 2018. Local officials said the lower temperatures will help cut down on power use and mitigate global warming. Tuguegarao regularly experiences high temperature, reaching as high as 44 degrees Celsius since the early 1950s. Preparations are in full swing for the peaceful and orderly staging of Ati-Atihan Festival in Aklan and Dinagyang Festival in Iloilo City this January. Top officials of the Aklan and Iloilo City Police, Provincial and City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Councils, and other concerned agencies gathered to discuss safety and security measures for the festivities. Chief Superintendent Cesar Hawthorne Binag, Regional Director of Police Regional Office 6, said that they are using the major security frameworks used during the region's hosting of some meetings of APEC last year, the recently concluded ASEAN Summit, as well as the Mascara Festival in Bacolod City last October. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Bureau of Fire Protection have been tapped to help in the preparations. They are also coordinating with the Presidential Security Group to prepare for the possible visit of President Rodrigo Duterte at the Dinagyang Festival. The Ati-Atihan Festival is slated January 12 to 18, while the Dinagyang Festival will follow on January 21 to 28. The AFP Magliab Class 3 and Maantabay Class 2 Batch 2017 celebrated its graduation as Army Reservists on December 9. The new reservists completed 6 months of military training at the AFP Reserve Command in Camp Aguinaldo. Reservists are civilians that undergo training similar to active duty personnel of the armed forces. The AFP will accept its next batch of reservists next year. To my mates at the Reserve Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, a snappy salute to everyone. Pag-asa is monitoring a low-pressure area that was detected near Mindanao. The low-pressure area was spotted 450 kilometers east of Surigao City, Surigao del Norte. The LPA is expected to bring scattered to widespread rain showers and thunderstorms over the Bicol region, Eastern Visayas, Quezon Province, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, and Rizal. Meanwhile, the tail end of a cold front is affecting the eastern section of southern Luzon, while the northeast monsoon prevails in northern and central Luzon. Rains from the LPA and cold front may trigger floods in Mindanao, Mimaropa, and the rest of the Visayas. The northeast monsoon will bring light rains over Metro Manila, Cagayan Valley, Cordillera, Ilocos, and central Luzon regions. Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country.
Malacanang announced that it will fire officials of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor, or PCUP. In a statement from the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson, the palace clarified it will sack the members of the commission rather than abolish the whole agency. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the commission has not met as a collegial body and that it is notorious for junkets abroad. President Rodrigo Duterte is yet to sign a memorandum order or executive order that would formalize the abolition of the Urban Poor Commission. President Duterte earlier hinted during the 84th anniversary celebration of the Department of Labor and Employment last December 8 that he would fire the members of the PCUP. PCUP was established to serve as the direct link of the urban poor to the government in policy formulation and program implementation. It is currently chaired by former Kabataan Party List Representative Terry Ridon. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Let's take another look at today's headlines. The House of Representatives approves on final reading a resolution increasing the salaries of police and soldiers next year. The Department of Education orders the monitoring of students who were administered with a Dengue anti-dengue vaccine. Domestic workers in Western Visayas and Davao region are set to receive an increase in minimum wages. Temperatures drop to 15 degrees Celsius in the hottest city in the country. The holidays are coming soon. It's 13 days before Christmas. For more stories, please log on to www.pna.gov.ph or visit the PNA page on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.